All right, and here is my note cards and the back. All right, thank you guys for coming today. Today we're going to discuss Russia's last imperial family, the Romanovs. Okay, try to imagine what it would be like to be a family and what you'd have to possibly do wrong to be executed in the middle of the night. This family, what kind of people were they to deserve that kind of treatment? And did their death fix the problems? These were innocent victims that took fault for things they couldn't control. They inherited responsibilities, especially Nicholas II after his father passed away. He became Tsar because he was the next in line. And he knew his family's fate, so what would that be like? Today I would like to share a little bit of the Romanovs family history. We will talk about the Tsar's history and his family's history, the Russian events that led to the massacre, and the tragic event that fatal night. History of Nicholas II. He was the emperor and autocrat of all of Russia's. Nicholas II, his reign began November the 1st, 1884, and it lasted till March the 15th, 1917. He was the eldest son and had 5 younger siblings. He became the Tsarevich after his grandfather was assassinated March the 1st of 1881. He was not prepared because his father was such a young man, and he never really fully trained Nicholas to become the next one in rank. He was married to Alex when he traveled to Coburg with his family to attend a wedding. He proposed to her, but she denied. She wouldn't convert to Orthodoxy because she didn't believe in that kind of religion. So finally, a family member made her have a change of heart, and she accepted his second proposal. They were married November the 26th in 1894. Alex became Alexandra Fedorova when she changed to Orthodoxy, was converted. They ended up having 5 children, 4 daughters whose names were the Grand Duchess Olga, the Grand Duchess Tatiana, the Grand Duchess Maria, and the Grand Duchess Anastasia. Alexei, the son, was born August the 12th of 1904. He suffered from a hereditary disease called hemophilia, which stops the blood from clotting. So this complicated the domestic matters at home. Although the Romanov family was doing fine, Russia, on the other hand, was becoming an unstable place to live. During the turn of the 20th century, a clash between Russia and Japan was almost inevitable. The war began when the Japanese attacked a Russian fleet in Port Arthur prior to the declaration of war. As the call for peace grew, Nicholas remained evasive, saying he would continue to fight until the Japanese were driven from Manchuria. The war ended when another fleet destroyed, and he accepted mediation from America, and that became known as the Treaty of Portsmouth. A series of unfortunate events led to a sense of unease in Russia. The Russian people started to have reservations about their leaders. The anti-Jewish programs were handed out poorly, which meant there was a newspaper article that published anti-Jewish information, and it was rumored that he actually supported the things that they said in the newspapers. He also didn't control the Bloody Sunday. He didn't handle that very well, which happened January the 22nd of 1905. This was a horrific event that led to many doubts for the Russian people. Russia became involved in the First World War. Nicholas went to war thinking he was invincible. Outbreak of war found Russia grossly unprepared. The Russians' heavy industry was still too small to properly equip their armies. Of all these events led to the demise of the Tsar and his family. Unfortunately for the family, the people of Russia had experienced enough and took matters into their own hands. The Romanov family met their tragic end. In light of the situation, Nicholas chose to abdicate and chose his son Alexei, who he then later changed his mind due to his son's illness. Then the family was forced into exile. They went to Tobolsk in the Urals. They were living in a former governor's mansion, and they had all the comforts. They were able to take a few of their workers and also their doctor. And they also sewed in their family jewels. They sewed them into their clothing so they could kind of, when they were hoping to be rescued, and they thought when they'd be rescued they would be able to have their jewels so they could start a new life. All right. On April the 30th, 1918, they were moved to Yekaterinburg and placed on soldiers' rations. The family believed a rescue was underway. They were awakened at 2 a.m. and told to dress. Unaware that a firing squad had assembled in the basement, the family was led down there with their servants and their doctor, and that's where they were informed that they had all been condemned to death. The executioners came in and began to fire. The girls survived due to the fact that they had all the jewels sewed into their clothing. So the next round of bullets, they survived those, and then they were stabbed to death with bayonets and shot at close range. The Romanov family met, of course, with the tragic end. We have gone over the history of the Imperial Romanov family, the account of Nicholas II and how he came into power, what was happening to Russia during his reign, and the way the family was forced into exile and then murdered. The history of the Romanov family had gone back many years, and even though his wife and children were innocent, they were all held accountable for his actions and murdered. The Romanov family story is a tragic one, and hopefully their story will remind people that families should never have to suffer because of their father's mistakes.